how can an individual take action in this month to help prevent suicide?
We got to talk about it. It's one of those myths and things that we don't want to discuss, but we know our family members, when they're not in their normal space. It's good to just ask the questions. Hey, are you okay mentally? Have you thought about harming yourself? And it's not until we open up Pandora's box that we really get some good answers. We believe that avoidance is the best thing. If I don't talk about it, then it's not real. But it is okay to literally ask the question, are you okay? You don't plan on harming yourself, do you? To open up the dialogue, and not only that in opening the dialogue, but also sharing stories in some way, some form or fashion. All of us have been impacted by suicide. Even if it's not your family members, somebody in your community that's been impacted. When they go through and they're having their memorial walks, you can get in on those type things. When they're having scholarships in honor of their loved one, we can donate to those things, but we need to bring it to the forefront because suicide is plaguing our community really bad right now. Between the ages of 18 and 24, we've got the highest rate of suicide. And so that's our young adult, not limited to that area, but that's where the most of suicides are happening right now. So we got to open up. We got to talk to our children, talk to your grandchildren, and do some mental health checks. And that kind of helps with bringing some awareness and shedding light on what's happening.
Whew, that's tough. 18 to 24, that is literally our future.
Yes.
And so when we look at the fact that it's our future is actually killing themselves.
Yes.
And so you're right, we do have to talk about it. Oh, yes.
And I forgot one thing, and finance is one of the number one reasons, because they're living in such a hard economic time right now where rent is sky high. Parents are saying, hey, you got to go get out and live on your own. They're trying to do this, but sometimes that whole process can be so overwhelming, they'll feel like the only option I have is to take myself out. And so as you sit and you have these conversations about finance, it's important because it can help some young person not just live a better financial life, but live, period, when they see, wow, it's another way for me to make money. There is hope. I can pull myself together. I can take care of myself financially. And so we see how finance and suicide can even have a correlation, and why it's important for us to be having this conversation.
You're right, because there was a time in my early 20s, and I'm a husband, have 3 kids. There's a lot of pressure as a man to provide for your family. And we were what you would describe as poor, as broke, didn't have much at all. It wasn't even paycheck to paycheck. I didn't have enough to go paycheck to paycheck. And I was stressed and I didn't like it. It was extremely uncomfortable. And so I was trying to do everything I could to get out of that situation and get to a better situation financially. And you know what? That's probably why I enjoy helping other people with it so much, because I know the feeling and the joy that I get from it.
Right.
And being able to share that with someone else and watch their whole mood shift and their life change is always satisfying for me. Suicide prevention example. And I guess I'm role playing, but I'll do my best, because we have to talk about it, but we have to know how to engage someone and what signs to look for. So to prevent suicide, like, what are we looking for? What are we paying attention to? Whether it's signs, whether it's something that people are saying or doing, what are some of those things we can catch?
Suicide symptoms often mirror major depressive disorder. When people start disconnecting from friends, no longer want to hang out, no longer want to be in the same social circles, when people start giving their stuff away and they start giving away things that are precious to them, that's another warning sign. And sometimes another warning sign is people will talk about it. I don't want to be here anymore. But we'll overlook it as if it's just a minor thing. Those are some of the things you really have to be on the lookout for when it comes to people that may be on the brink of harming themselves.
Okay. So yeah, I was gonna try to role play, but I don't think I'm gonna do it.
You can role play.
I don't know. Okay, let me see. I wrote 2 things.
We can role play. We can give a scenario. Somebody
okay. Pastor Conyers. Well, when you're a clinical therapist, what do they call you? How do they address you?
Some of them call me Dr. Conyers, although I'm not a doctor, but it's Miss Conyers or Christie.
Okay. Miss Conyers.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Conyers. I feel stressed. I feel like there's a lot of weight on my shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
I get up in the morning and it just feels like there's so much that I have to do, but it's almost impossible to get it done.
Yeah, it's not strange to feel overwhelmed, especially when you have a lot of responsibilities.
But what if I do have a lot of responsibilities, but I don't even want them? Like, sometimes I just feel like I could just quit on those responsibilities and do something else, because I don't want to do what I do right now. I don't want to be a part of that anymore. I just rather give up.
All right, well, giving up is an option, but if you give up, then we have to say, are you ready to face the consequences that come with giving up?
Giving up sounds peaceful.
Giving up as in your career or giving up on life?